Welcome to SBA Today for the week of January 21st. As always, I'm your host, Paul Long, and I am joined by my lovely co-host, Tanya. Hey, let's get into the news.
Good morning. Well, giddy up. There's a new sheriff in town here in the SBA. I know. New administrator, Kelly Loeffler, former Georgia from senator. And as a reminder, Trump chose her actually because he says Kelly will bring her experience in business, both in business and in Washington, to reduce red tape and unleash the opportunity for small businesses to grow, innovate, and thrive. She'll focus on ensuring that SBA is accountable to taxpayers by cracking down on waste, fraud, and regulatory overreach. Interesting.
So that's pretty clear to me that they are going to be focusing on PPP and idle fraud. Like that is the focus. It's not going to be at this point. I think it will be soon. SOP changes, but I think that's going to be the initial political football. And it'll be fun.
Well, anyway, we can get into that. And
this is not a politics show.
We definitely get into that. Well, no, more so about who you had. Did you have any fraud during the PPP? Because I know I definitely had some fraud during PPP.
Yeah. I think most every institution did. If you didn't do a lot.
Well, what was one of yours? I had a hotel down in Texas that reached out to me and they wanted $2 million. This is the first round of PPP, right? Yeah. This is when the money was supposed to be going towards keeping employees on, right? So keeping your people in there, right? I asked them specifically what they were going to use it for. And they're like, oh, we're going to pay off debt. And I'm like, well, that isn't what the program is for. And they're like, oh yeah, but blah. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Now, they likely got it done somewhere, but I wasn't going to do it because that was not the intent of the program.
There's a lot. I mean, they're still going back to the institutions and asking for additional information, even after it's been forgiven. So I think that's the biggest thing is they're just really focusing on that. So it's all right. It is what it is.
Interesting. All right. Well, all right. So what else do we have here? Oh, the new Senate Small Business Chair, Joni Ernst. As a state senator, Joni fought to balance the state's budget and helped, oh my gosh, this one's crazy, helped turn Iowa's $900 million budget deficit into a $1 billion surplus. What?
That's the kind of person. Okay. I'd be curious what the story is behind that, but
exactly. So in November 2014, Joni was elected as the first woman to serve in federal elected office from the state of Iowa and also became the first female combat veteran elected to serve in the United States Senate.
So what's interesting on this one is as a veteran, I hope that she brings back more veteran programs to the small business. I really hope that because I think that is a missing piece of that. And
it's usually missing.
Yeah. And it needs to come back big time. And remember, she is on the Dodge. I don't know. I'm going to call it Doge because that's what I think it is.
Well, you know me, I go back to Doggy. Hey, Doggy.
It's the Doggy Caucus founder. So I really do think that she is going to use SBA as a testing ground. So I'm glad I do not work directly for the SBA currently.
Well,
who knows? And
it could get interesting.
And speaking of Joni Ernst, she came out and is wanting to extend COVID loan recovery periods. She says con artists took advantage of small businesses' pain during the COVID to defraud government programs designed to help hardworking Americans. While we are at $36 trillion in debt, we especially cannot afford to leave more than $200 billion floating around, especially in the hands of fraudsters. $200 billion? This complete COVID Collections Act would extend the authorization through 2030 and expand its jurisdiction over the program. So, go get them.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Go get them.
Yeah.
But,
so
wow. We shall see. Next, though, are the banks. Now, this has been an interesting one out there. I was going towards all of them and seeing what everybody was doing. Banks are making money. They are making big dollar bill signs, right? Woo-hoo. And going through LinkedIn, that was an interesting one with some of the comments that I saw, but we can get into that down the road. Chase said that their quarterly profits are up 50%. Wow, right?
Yeah.
Goldman Sachs profit more than doubled. Citigroup, under the new leadership of Fraser, did some streamlining, and they are now a positive trend, which is 12.7 billion versus the 9.2 billion in 2023 in their net income. So that's good. They're going up. Wells Fargo saw net income rise 47%. BNY saw returned common equity to their common shareholders of 23%. 4.4 billion of capital was returned to their common shareholders.
Huge.
That's huge, guys. All right. BlackRock brought in a record annual 641 billion client cash and saw higher earnings. Now, why? What do you think?
When I was reading the article, I had to read it a couple times, and the first thing I thought of is, okay, why? How? I'm very into the financials of institutions, and I'm like, okay, what is it that's different? Yes, we had higher interest rates, so that does help, but really, it's a dragging period. So I'm not sure. They are saying, though, a surge in investment banking activity.
Yeah.
Interesting. The election got people more excited for the future. I've seen and heard a lot of that from clients. Economic optimism, same type of thing. More than 1% interest rate cut. More than one interest rate cut in 2025 is projected. Okay. And a decline in inflation. So, I mean,
interesting.
I see parts of that, but for income to go up that much, I feel like there's something else. I feel like
there's gotta be,
they just hit the tip of the iceberg on that, and I'd be curious really what that is. So,
well, it's kind of like, is it truly the fundamentals, or is it short-term sentiments in the market or wishful thinking?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like the stock market. Oh, it's great today.
Is.
Oh,
yeah. Well, and then if you look out there, like some of the comments I saw in some of these posts on LinkedIn, I mean, you go both directions. And I remember this when I used to work at the big banks. It always felt like, now I knew what I was doing, and I knew I was trying to do my best and help people, right? But there was always this sentiment that came down the line of big banks be stealing my money. And I say that in jest, but I get it. And I see both sides, right? I do. I see both sides as far as how people see it. They're needing this, that, or the other, and then the banks are making so much. But what's the flip side? Actually, what are we seeing? If the banks are making money, what does that potentially mean for all of us? So I don't know.
That's true.
You have any thoughts?
Maybe it's all the gain on sale, and it's all of the wonderful secondary market premiums. No, I mean, I really wish, secondary market premiums would increase. But again, we got to definitely have to control the prepayment before that truly happens. So,
right.
When it comes to projecting the future, I leave it into people that get paid a hell of a lot more than me.
Oh, come on. I pull out my my little rock and my my fun stuff that I like to do on the end. Okay, maybe some tarot cards or whatever. No, seriously. Who knows, right? I mean, I don't think any of us can tell what actually is coming down the line. We can all be helpful though. So
that's true. And we all work hard. We all work hard for our own individual goals and what the economy does in the world around us. It is what it is. So that's my theory.
Let's all pull together.
That's right.
Well, anything else from you, Paul, this morning? Or we?
No, it's kind of a short and a sweet, just like this week, short and sweet. And take us home.
All right, you got it. So don't forget, guys, we are live on Tuesday mornings here on LinkedIn and or YouTube, or anytime you want to see us, check out one of our past programs. or anything along those lines, any of the streaming platforms where you get your podcast will be there. Also, our family of podcasts, the BDO Show and the Art of SBA Lending, you can check them out as well. Don't forget that Paul and I love talking with you guys, right? And if you've got any questions, reach out to us here on LinkedIn, obviously. And past that, let's see, I don't know, like, share. Yeah. If you like what we're bringing to you, I mean, share it with your network and see if they like it as well. Anyway,
Absolutely.
Rise up, keep selling, and we will see you next week.
See you guys later.
See you guys.